Just wrapped up my first 20 hours in Blue Protocol Star Resonance, and I must say, fantastic game. This MMO is a blast. If you like Final Fantasy XIV style games, you should like Blue Protocol. A lot of content creators are saying it's pay to win, although I see almost zero evidence of that. Almost every free-to-play game has tiny bits of pay for convenience. This guide has all the essentials, class tips, unlocked skills, daily grinds, weekly grinds, how to grind, and how to avoid some of my most epic wipes. Some VODs are linked below if you're interested in any of my streams and want to check it out. This video is not sponsored. If it was, I legally have to tell you. All right, so character creation is first. Now, I actually enjoy the character creation here. It is pretty good. You get a choice between 3 body types. Yes, the body types are locked into design output. If you want tall, medium, short, that's what you pick. They do have presets here. The presets are quite good, I must say. Their characters that they created are going to be better than 90% of the characters I've seen in game, mostly because people don't take their time though. You have the option between a lot of hairstyles, and as you play throughout the game, you will get something called hairstyle vouchers. The hairstyle vouchers will give you capabilities to change your hairstyle in the game, and you can change colors, presets, other things like that without orbs or later. And then, of course, we have the best of proportions, the most short and stacked as possible. And then, of course, the most tall and stacked as possible. Once you get past that, there is character selection. Character selection is up to 8 classes. Each class has a subclass. You will not access the subclass right away, so don't worry about builds and guides until you finish your first tier into the skill tree, because you must unlock the entire first tier before you advance into expertise. More on that later. You'll see the symbol right here. This basically determines what kind of class you have. This is a support symbol. This is a defender symbol. And then this is a DPS symbol. Green, blue, red. As far as the class you should pick whenever you're beginning the game, I do recommend a DPS class when you first start the game. I didn't listen to anybody, and I still won't. Healer's best class. Sorry, get over it. You first wake up in a bed after the first storyline with a letter on the table and a self-portrait. After donning your first gear, up top are your basic spells, your first ability, your second ability, and your ultimate. Your spells down here. The longer you go into the game, the more these spells change, and you do get other options in the future. In addition to skills, you will get talents. This is your talent tree. The reason I say not to worry about builds at first is because not only do you have to get your main build in one of 2 subclasses, we have the smite spec for healer here, and then the life spine spec. This is damage and healing, almost no damage, almost all healing, but you still can do a little bit of damage. This is like this with every class, so don't worry about builds until you finalize this tree. This tree is going to require 30 talent points, which will take a while to acquire, and some seals that the game will just give you as your time goes on. In the quest loadouts, you will have these list of quests. The main quests will undoubtedly give you the absolute most EXP in the game. While you should focus on these, some of the side quests are very important for XP. Like this one here gives you 550,000. This is worthwhile if you're just trying to get to in-game as fast as possible and see if you like the content. That's mainly what I'm doing. However, at first, the content for the game will be slightly time-gated, and that is very standard with MMOs. If you don't like that, you probably won't like MMOs, and I think that's why MMOs do it, honestly. You can expect the first hour of your game to be putzing around, figuring out how the game works, what the store is, what's monetizable, what's not monetizable, do you want to play it, the gear section, the life skill section. This is your typical weaving, artisanry, things like that. It is, of course, an open world MMO with a large portion of the map just rolling out as time goes forward. A lot of people are upset with the time-gating content, but it is quite standard in most live service games, as it should be, to be honest with you. Your first area, Astera Plains, this is where you're going to learn a lot about the game. These little symbols right here are your bosses. So if you're looking for a boss, this one is the Golden Juggernaut. This one is the Frost Ogre. Your fishing spots, and of course, a bustling wild world check. I will have to say the game itself is extremely visually striking. You will always find people that complain about everything, but the game itself is fantastic. There's a lot of things in the game that they put in there just to make you look around the scenery and enjoy the sights. My suggestion is to take your time with it and enjoy it, because the world is time gated anyway. It is for your enjoyment so that you don't just speed through the end of the game and know nothing, although everyone's going to do that anyway. As far as movement goes, there's run, walk, sprint. You get a mount. This is a cute little boar, so it doesn't really matter which your mount is, but of course, variety is the spice of life. Quadruple, septuple jumps, as well as dashing, wall climbing, and flying. These are all part of the standard movement, although you do have to level up to acquiesce more and more of these abilities. Earlier on, you do get a sort of glide. It is very cool. Most likely inspired by a gacha. As far as combat goes, later when you get all of your spells, you will have a sort of basic attack, a secondary attack, your skills, which are cast in combat rotations depending on the scenario, a imagine attack, these battle imagines. This portion is where everyone is saying it's pay to win. You can get any of these for free. It just takes a little grinding, although you can spend a ton of money and acquiesce one of the best ones. But the difference between the best one and one of the other ones is very small and not really worth noting, to be honest with you. Then, of course, your daily missions, weekly missions, your leisure activities, and challenges. This is the trial path. This one gives you more opportunities to earn your talent coins for your skill tree advancements. This is sort of the AFK abilities. You just go sit on the beach and watch fireworks. The game is inherently giving you incentives to take breaks, which we're neats. We don't want that. You have the weekly. This resets on a weekly basis. These are not activities that go away when you complete them. They are always there, and the rewards are always there. Same with the dailies. The daily and the weekly missions in this game are grindable. You can just go do them as much as you want to progress and get whatever you want out of the game as much as possible. The daily sort of treasure chest rewards, you have these, you just play the game and you get points as you play, and whenever you play, you get better rewards throughout the day. There is a promotion system in the game. This is relatively difficult to promote. You have to spend a little bit more grinding times. They do reward the heavy grinders, and they do reward the casual players as well. Whatever suits your fancy, this game probably does have it. The game itself has actually put in an AFK system into it. A lot of people are upset over the auto battle system for some reason, when in actuality it just levels the playing field. People will put macros and they will AFK in the game regardless. Lets everyone AFK so that the playing field is even. If you try to do that in a dungeon or against a boss, it's not going to go well. Some common mistakes I find in my live stream is a lot of people will hoard the level up ingredients. You don't really need to hoard the level up ingredients. Get all of these ingredients back with a reset token, but you have to unlock all of the first talent tree anyway. I can understand hoarding the stuff for the second tree. This is for your builds, and you can reset at relatively easy nature towards the game. Skills, a lot of people don't even level up their skills for some reason. Here you can see a level on here. It says level 10. You will need to level up your skills to increase your item score. Your item score is right here, your ability score. This is just a combined total of all of your abilities. While this inherently doesn't matter as much as you think, these stats matter a lot. And if you don't put a lot of forethought into this practice, you will end up getting slapped in the dungeon. A lot of people get stuck at this point. They are unable to progress through the dungeons, which are the Unit X research facilities. The game also can just have you run towards your target location if you just click the navigate button. The navigate button is right here whenever you click on an objective. You can even look at your gear and stuff while you run. This guy right here, Maxim, he has the Reforge. Every time you reforge, you get a bonus to your attributes. This bonus is related to the amount of times you've reforged them, and this heavily contributes to your item score, or your gear score, or your attribute score, whichever one you'd like to call it. As is standard, there is rarity types: blue, purple, and gold. The gold will give you the best stat advantages, and it is the gold that you seek. The goal is to basically speed run to be able to do the hard missions. The hard missions drop the gold gear, which will give you the most bonuses. So the progression is to just speed run to get to that point. I will have a more in-depth guide into how to do that, but that is essentially the fastest way to increase. Another big issue I have, really, is that people jump right into a guild. A lot of guilds have different purposes, and you should honestly look for a guild that fits you before you just go YOLO into a guild. The guild rewards, this is an MMO, so it's just you're in it for the long haul. If you want to play the game, take your time finding a guild that you really want. They have guilds out there for everyone. My guild is Chromatic Edge. This will be my main guild. I will have sub guilds for Overflow and life guilds. I do plan to stick with the game for the foreseeable future, and the guild requires its own guide. All in all, I would give Blue Protocol like a 9 out of 10 as far as MMOs are concerned. It is free to play, which is insane for an MMO this good. It has aspects of every other MMO that I've enjoyed. The only thing that isn't in the game right now is super complicated edge and combat, which will come later. They just want to give everyone a chance to enjoy the game before they put content in that people can't even do. And they also don't want a very toxic community. If you're interested in trying the game, I do recommend trying it just because it is free to play. It's only 30 gigabytes, and it is controller friendly if you play on controller on PC. Although you do have to do some stuff to get it to work right on Steam. If you don't want to do that, I do actually recommend going to their website. It's just playbpsr.com. Sign in and download their client. The client they have is just better. It's not going to give you that many issues, and it is more controller friendly than Steam is. It has a lot of tips and tricks on the website anyway, so I recommend going there. Be whoever you want to be. BlueProtocol.com. Like I said, this video is not sponsored. This is my true raw opinion of the game, and I highly recommend this game to anyone that actually likes MMOs. MMOs are not for everyone, but if you don't know if you want to play an MMO, I highly recommend giving this game a shot. It is free to play. It is free to play friendly. It is not pay to win friendly. There is a lot of community involvement, and to be honest, it actually has the best emotes I've ever seen. Here's a holding hands emote where you lead someone around town, and you can even teleport with them. Taken live from my Twitch. Link in the description. So that is your first 20 hours blueprint into the game. Drop a comment. What's your class pick? If you need any tweaks to your build, or you just have some questions, feel free to drop in my live stream if I'm streaming, which is basically all the time. You have a great community over there, and everyone is friendly. Have a sick day, and peace out.